Hey guys, hope everyone is well. Today we are going to look at dress watches and more specifically my top 10 dress watches under $1,000. Okay, let's get started. First up we have Daniel Wellington. Don't worry, just kidding. First up we have the Seiko 5 Automatic SNKK65K1. This is one of the cheaper dress watches from Seiko at $170, but don't let that price fool you. This is a really good looking watch with good finishing all round and an attractive aesthetic with that silvery, almost white dial, polished indices and matching logo. The Seiko 5 Automatic has a stainless steel bracelet and case, hard Lex crystal and 30 meters of water resistance. The automatic movement inside is the 7S26 with 21 joules, which offers an accuracy of -20 to +40 seconds per day and a power reserve of 41 hours. This is a solid dress watch from Seiko, and like with many of their watches, this watch feels much more premium than the price tag suggests. Number 2 on the list is the Timex Marlin. This vintage dress watch is based on its older model from the 1960s, but not much has changed. And that's a good thing because the original Marlin was a beauty. And this is a beauty too. Something about its simplicity and those unique Arabic numerals make it stand out from the crowd in a sea of generic dress watches. The brushed sunburst dial is particularly eye-catching, and the hand-wound movement allows the watch case to remain nice and thin. The domed acrylic crystal protrudes nice and high to further enhance that retro feel. At $200, it's hard to resist the value from Timex here, and this is a good option for those wanting a simplistic yet good-looking watch. Orient have long been a top runner when it comes to affordability, looks and quality for a good price. It's a shame then that they struggle to sometimes find suitable names for their timepieces. The Orient Moonphase RA AK0009T10B isn't as confusing as the long name suggests. This Moonphase watch comes in a gorgeous rose gold colour with a deep chocolate brown dial. The date window and day wheel are curiously placed over the Roman numerals. I personally think this layout on the dial works really well. I mean, this is a aesthetically pleasing and elegant watch. For $350, you are also getting sapphire glass, an automatic movement and a really nice leather strap. This is one of my favourite dress watches on this list, and it's a shame you don't see or hear more about this particular piece. I mean, I would genuinely love to know why more people don't have this watch. If you have one of these, let me know in the comments. Okay, up next it's the Orient Bambino, and some people say that the Orient Bambino is the perfect dress watch that's affordable, and it's no surprise why. For $385, this second generation version oozes that vintage feel. It has a rich cream dial with applied Roman numerals, vibrant blue hands and domed mineral glass. The movement is the automatic caliber F6722, which has 40 hours of power reserve. I think if you're a real watch enthusiast, you've probably considered buying this watch at some point. As a dress watch, it's really hard to ignore this for any collection because it feels like incredible value for money. There are even comments online from numerous people saying they've bought this watch more than once in different colours because they loved it so much. And yes, I do own one myself, of course I do. Next on the list is the Seiko Presage Cocktail Mockingbird. With green watches becoming quite trendy recently, it's a surprise that the Mockingbird hasn't been attracting as much attention as I think it should have since its release. Named after the award-winning bartender Ishigaki Shinobu, this watch offers a sunburst British racing green dial with spear-shaped indices along the edges inspired by the stems of cocktail glasses. The hour hands are polished and the beautiful golden seconds hand contrasts the green perfectly. This is a simple yet beautiful dress watch, with that main attraction being the shimmering dial that alters itself in different light. Believe it or not, this $500 timepiece was a limited edition. So if green is your colour, then you might want to pick this up sooner rather than later. At number 6, we have Kuo Kyoto with the Royal Smith. Kuo Kyoto is, as the name suggests, a Japanese watchmaker that some of you may not have heard of. I think they have been flying under the radar in the last few years, but with the recent release of some extraordinary vintage models, they are fast becoming a big talking point. The Royal Smith is no exception, with a gorgeous textured cream dial, Breguet style numerals and anti-reflective coated sapphire glass. This watch does come with a catch though, it's small, 34mm small. The goal from Kyoto was to retain the true 1940s vintage proportions of the watches, and I respect that. Don't worry though, this watch is known to wear quite a bit larger than the 34mm suggests and hugs the wrist quite nicely. For $560, it's a unique, charming option for those who want something different. Next up is a watch that takes the term affordable dress watch to a whole new level. The Tissot Lilac is, in my opinion, one of the best looking dress watches you can buy for the money in question. Coming in at just $570, this watch has an air of sophistication and elegance to it, a real gentleman's watch. The guilloche dial is something you tend to find in much more expensive watches, and yet here it is. Along with Roman numerals, leaf-shaped hands, and an overall high level of finishing, this is an attractive option for those dressy occasions. On the back of this watch is a rather nice dual window exhibition caseback with some nice engraving to add to the elegance. What's more, you are of course getting the Powermatic 80 movement, which means 80 solid hours of power reserve. Next up is a watch that takes the term affordable dress watch to a whole new level. Number 8 on the list is the Baltic MR01. Baltic are a brand that have really impressed as of late, with recent releases such as the Tri-Compacts, the Aquascape, and of course the MR01. Now, if you didn't know, the MR1 made quite a storm upon release. It sold out very quickly and subsequently became quite tricky to get hold of one, making the $675 watch even more desirable. This was down to many things: the stunning textured dial, the Breguet-style silver numerals, and the off-centered seconds dial, to name a few. But I think the main reason was simply the overall package. What the MR1 offers here is amazing value for money, from a watch that feels like a $2,000 timepiece. I reviewed this watch recently, so make sure to watch that video if you're thinking of getting one. Number 9 on the list is the Bulova Fly Me to the Moon. We all love a tribute watch, but sometimes just having the name of a famous person isn't enough to part you with your money. Fortunately for Bulova, they got it right with this Fly Me to the Moon edition, remembering none other but the great Frank Sinatra. At $800, this dress watch takes the mid-20th century style and brings it to the modern wearer, with a ribbed sunburst dial in deep black, which gives a surprising amount of texture. Bulova uses large numerals at the even hours and gold indices for the odd hour markers. At the 6 o'clock position is the Frank Sinatra signature, and at the 3 o'clock position is the gold trimmed date window. The case finishing is very nice, and the overall aesthetic with the black and gold mixed with that steel case means that this watch is very hard to pass up on. The last watch on this list is a really interesting and unique piece from Zodiac, and the watch in question is the Olympos. This timepiece right off the bat really catches your attention with that really unusual manta ray shaped case. I think we are all a bit too used to the bog standard case shapes that we see from everyday watches, which is why I like what Zodiac have produced here. As a dress watch, it's a bold, provocative piece, and I'm not just talking about the case shape. The quad-sectored sunray dial is also rather alluring. Mix that with a thickness of just 11mm and you have a dress watch which stands out in any collection. Now, this watch is listed at $995, but I have seen it go for much less. The colour options are rather conservative for Zodiac, but there is a blue dial version that comes with a funky teal date window for the true Zodiac fanboys. So there you have it, 10 dress watch options under $1,000 that hopefully don't break the bank too much. If you liked this video, please do hit the subscribe button and I will see you next time.